Okay, let's start the coaster. For the coaster, I'm going to do half the diameter of the finished piece that I want. I want the radius. I'm going to chain the number that is going to give me the radius of my coaster. So for the circle coaster, I'm going to choose 8 chains and make a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first loop always counts as a stitch. Now I'm going to go through the back bump of the starting chain because it will give me a nice edge when I sew up the coaster. So go into the second chain, back bump, insert and pull up a loop. For the third chain, bring the yarn in front, then insert, bring the yarn back, pull up a loop. Now this is only my way of pulling up the loops of the first row so that I can have a Tunisian piece which doesn't curl up. The next one, regular, pull up a piece, pull up a loop. Then the next one, alternate again, bring the yarn in front, insert the hook into the back bump, take the yarn back, yarn over, pull up a loop. The next one would be regular, insert the hook, pull up a loop. The next one would be a purl stitch again, bring the yarn in front, insert the hook, take the yarn back, yarn over, pull up a loop. And the last one will be like a regular. It is difficult to record and do it. Okay, so there you go, the last one, yarn over, pull up. So here I have it, 8 loops on my hook, and this is your forward pass. The return pass is nothing but taking off the loops at a time. So the first one I just do yarn over, pull through 1. So I've created just chain. Okay, so first one is just 1. Now on, I'll yarn over, pull through 2. So take off 2 at a time, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So the return pass is going to be the same for all the rows, no matter what type of row that you're doing. Tunisian simple, Tunisian purl, Tunisian knit stitch, doesn't matter, the return pass is going to be the same. So this completed my first row. Now I'm going to do the second one. For the second one, I'm going to do an alternating Tunisian purl stitch and a Tunisian simple stitch. So the first stitch, apart from the first loop, the second vertical bar will be a Tunisian simple stitch. So I insert right to left, pull up a loop. The next one, I bring the yarn in front, insert the hook, take the yarn back, yarn over, pull up a loop. The next one, Tunisian simple, yarn over, pull up a loop. The next one, Tunisian purl, bring the yarn in front, insert the hook, take the yarn back, yarn over, pull up a loop. The next one is Tunisian simple, and then the next one is going to be a purl. Now first one, yarn, I'm going to leave out the last stitch. I only go up to the penultimate, the second last one. The last stitch is going to be left. Now yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, so here I have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the next row, I'm going to do Tunisian purl first. So wherever I did Tunisian simple stitch, I do a simple purl. Then the next one I do simple. Next one I do a purl. Next one would be a simple stitch and a purl stitch. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, edge stitch made, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So the third row is also done. Now I did a purl here, so now I do a simple stitch, then I do a purl, then I do simple, and then I do a purl. Every row I leave the last stitch unworked. So every row I'm going to have one loop less than the previous row. So I started with 8 and now I'm down to 5. So yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay. Now I started with simple stitch, so I could do a purl. Next is simple. Now I have 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now the next one, simple and purl. So I have 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I have to do a purl stitch in this one. Yarn over, pull through 1 and yarn over, pull through 2. So I have decreased and made a triangle. So this is going to be my first wedge. Okay, so this is your short row technique, which is every row I reduce one stitch at the other end. So if you're right-handed, you will be missing here. If you're left-handed, you will be missing on the other side. So at the end of the row, you will miss one stitch for every row. Now I'm going to do the second wedge. In order to do the second wedge, I insert into the second bar, pull up a loop. All those stitches which we left, I'm going to go down the row and pick it up. Every single row, wherever I left out the last stitch, I just go and pick up all those stitches back on the hook. So you will see that now I have 8 loops back on my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, so now this edge has been set up for the next wedge. So when I make 6 to 7 wedges, or sometimes it's 8 wedges depending upon the tension, you will make these wedges each time the exact same manner as you did the first one. So you had 8 loops here, the next row will have 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then the third wedge, you'll start by going down that edge and redoing it, repeating this pattern around till you come back to the last. So when you come back to the last, you will just simply finish off that edge and the starting point and close it to make a circle. Let's do that and get back and see how the circle looks when it's finished. Well, here you can see that I've finished 6 wedges, and when I finish the 6th wedge, that it's almost lining up so that I'll be able to sew up the starting point and the ending point together. In order to be able to do that, I need to bind off the last row. So the stitches are still live, like they can be still worked upon. In Tunisian, I bind off the stitches when I complete it. That will give me a nice edge. In order to bind off, I simply do, just like a regular simple Tunisian, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up the loop. Now instead of keeping the loop on the hook, I just pull through the existing loop on the hook. So all times I will have only one loop on the hook. Similarly, insert the hook into the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull up the loop through that vertical bar and the loop on the hook. Same, insert into the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop through the vertical bar and the loop on the hook. So continue this till you reach the 8th or the last stitch on your row. So here, that is my last stitch. So I have, if I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I should have 8 chains on the top, which indicates that I've completed it. So here I can snip off this thread, my working thread, leave a long tail and sew up this edge to that, at the same time making the center closed. Once you're done that and you've sewed up the edge and you've come to this part, the top edge, instead of fastening off, you can continue, join a new thread and make an edge around it. Now, if you did not fasten off here, if you did not cut the yarn here and did slip stitch join, the slip stitch join will bring the thread to this corner, and from here you do one round of single crochet, slip stitch or any edge that you want and make this an even circle. So there you have it, Tunisian coaster in the round. I will finish the circle and show you the finished piece. So here I have joined using slip stitch the one loop of the bind off row and one loop of the starting chain, brought it up all the way till here, and I've started my single crochet round as an edge around the whole coaster. So right now it's looking very uneven because of these short rows. So when I finish my single crochet round, it will make it a proper circle. So let me finish that and show how that looks. And here you have it, Tunisian coaster in the round using short row technique after finishing the last row of SE. So when you block it, you can pull it a little bit so that you get a perfect circle. And this is how it looks on the wrong side. Can you see the wedges that have been formed when you came all the way in? Each of that is one wedge that you made when you did the short row. And this is how it looks on the wrong side. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. Of course, you can use any stitch you want. You can just use Tunisian simple all the way, Tunisian purl all the way, Tunisian knit stitch or any other combination of stitches. In fact, you can even use the same technique for doing something with single crochet. And I hope you enjoy making this coaster. And as always, if you have any doubts, do drop in a comment, message me so that we can get that sorted. Thank you.